Willow has a childhood sweetheart, who not only gave her a lot of love, but also a lot of money. He's a warm-hearted, deeply devoted guy, admired by everyone. However, just when everyone was waiting for them to finally be together, Makoto abandoned her and went abroad alone. So, I resolutely chose to step in. I became Makoto's stand-in, earning 500,000 a month. But what I never expected was that before I could make enough money, Makoto came back to the country. He even had the nerve to scold me, saying I couldn't give Willow happiness. He said, "Happiness is that every dynamite girl will meet a good-tempered gentleman who is willing to bow his head and pamper her." He said, "You have no money, and you have no emotional value. What do you have to offer Willow happiness? But everything you can't give her, I can give. Don't tell me you love her. I love her more than you do. You don't even know, do you? My parents died abroad. I came back to see Willow and didn't even attend the funeral. If she knew how devoted I am, she would surely cry in gratitude." Chapter 1. The day Willow's childhood sweetheart returned to the country, she didn't get home until late at night. As soon as she entered, she gave me a hug, rubbing against me like a cat, leaving the scent of her all over my clothes. This was probably one of her little habits with Makoto. George, actually. Today I raised my finger and gently placed it on Willow's lips, signaling her not to say more. I understand everything. Tonight, I'll quickly pack up and leave. The rich woman gives me 500,000 a month, and in 3 years, my family has bought 2 apartments. As a substitute, I've accepted this reality. If she needs it, before I leave, I can even do a thorough cleaning of the villa. Chapter 2. When Willow saw the big meal I had carefully prepared for her, she let out a deep sigh and said, "Let's eat first." I eagerly served her food, peeling shrimp and putting food on her plate, then sat across from her and actively made gestures, saying, "I want to low." But before I could finish the word leave, my phone suddenly dinged with a notification. The payment of 30 million came through. She said, "I understand. I didn't forget about the gift." Willow gave me a wise look, her eyes full of tenderness, and she said, "After thinking about it, this gift is the one you like the most. Happy birthday, George." She added, "I understand." Chapter 3. No way. Who understands between the two of us? I wiped the sweat from my forehead, quickly securing the 30 million, and then gestured again. "What I meant is, I want." Willow understood again. She snorted softly, rolled her eyes, and said, "I understand. It's not like I can't. After all, it's your birthday. I'll satisfy you." With that, I was forcefully dragged into the room. Who understands? Seriously. Chapter 4. I heard there's a sign language debate class in the city center, and I'm planning to go practice. After all, slow hand speed can easily cause misunderstandings. My lower back hurts a lot. Chapter 5. Everyone knows Willow has an extraordinary childhood sweetheart. Everyone is waiting for them to end up together, but the childhood sweetheart left Willow behind and went abroad. So, I signed an agreement to marry Willow. 500,000 a month to be her childhood sweetheart's substitute, silent version, making money quietly. Thinking of this, I gently adjusted the expensive watch on my left wrist. If I sell this watch Willow gave me, I can make a huge profit. Happily, I took a photo and posted it on a second-hand website, when suddenly, a ringtone rang from underneath the pillow. My hand was faster than my brain. When I realized it was Willow's phone, the call had already been answered. A man's voice came from the receiver, asking, "Is that a man's voice? Are you Willow's driver?" I couldn't speak, hesitated for a moment, then made a soft sound. He said, "Tell Willow that little rascal is coming back to marry her." Without a second of hesitation, I immediately hung up the phone, and then, I sent the person the location of a psychiatric hospital. Is this how telecom fraud works now? Chapter 6. No, I was careless. Little rascal must be Willow's childhood sweetheart, right? They sure know how to play around. I took a sharp breath, frantically retracting the message I sent, just in time to hear the bedroom door open. Willow came in to grab her phone. "Are you awake?" I panicked, my gaze darting around, and Willow misunderstood. Furrowing her brow, she walked toward me and said, "Does your lower back still hurt? I told you to exercise more, and it was only 7 or 8 times yesterday." I was speechless. As she walked, she took off her jacket, her long, slender fingers picking up a tube of ointment from the nightstand. Suddenly, a light bulb went off in my head. I gestured to her in sign language. "I need to go to the hospital," she said. "Okay, I'll call the doctor to come to the house." I quickly grabbed my phone and showed it to her. I gestured. "Go to this hospital. Can you go there first to wait for me? I'll be there shortly." A hint of confusion flashed across her delicate face. Her long eyelashes fluttered a few times, and she looked at me again with deep, puzzled eyes. A psychiatric hospital is still a type of hospital. Why can't it treat external injuries? This is a bit complicated. Don't ask too many questions. Chapter 7. Because of my mistake, Willow and Makoto met again at the psychiatric hospital building, but it wasn't a big deal. In the hospital lobby, Makoto suddenly dropped to his knees in front of Willow, solemnly saying, "It was my fault back then. I was irresponsible, and I was wrong. I'm apologizing now. Will you still be willing to become my bride? I've been punished. I have severe depression. It's the kind that can't be cured without you. I've been in so much pain. I can barely breathe. It feels like I'm dying." I hid in the distance, getting goosebumps all over, desperately trying to make myself invisible. My eyes unknowingly wandered to a hospital poster. This research project looks like it could make money. A 20% annual dividend. Maybe I should invest a little. About 2 hours later, I found 18 missed calls from Willow on my phone. I rushed back to the hospital lobby. Makoto was still kneeling on the floor, sobbing uncontrollably. Willow was leaning against the wall, her lips tightly pressed together, her usually cold gaze now carrying a hint of frost. I slowly approached, and suddenly heard her say to Makoto, "Makoto, can you have some dignity? Do you think I'm an idiot?" Makoto, devastated, trembled and pointed at me. "Is it because of him?" Willow turned her head in response. In an instant, the dark cloud on her face disappeared without a trace, replaced by a slight look of grievance. She quickly walked over to me, took my arm as if afraid I might run away. Holding me tight, she said to Makoto, "Of course, it's because of my husband. I've been married for 3 years now. Mr. Ito, please show some respect." With that, Willow looked up at me, no longer hiding the grievance in her eyes. She gave me a little push, as if urging me to say something. I hesitated for a while and then awkwardly gestured to Makoto. "Actually, she loves you. I'm just a substitute." Makoto couldn't understand, but a stack of documents in my arms fell to the ground. Willow glanced down, picked up one of the papers, and handed it to Makoto, saying, "I think you don't understand, but I do. Let me explain what my husband means. He invested in the hospital's research project, which specializes in treating people like you with mental issues. Please get treatment soon. If you need money, my husband will fund you. Just don't embarrass yourself out here again." Is that what I meant? Willow, how did you understand again? Chapter 8. George, I need to make something clear to you. My feelings are just like the vows in a wedding ceremony. You are the only one, irreplaceable, the person I love the most. 3 years ago, now, and forever. On the way back, Willow sat in the car, her gaze fixed on me with intensity. It made me feel a bit guilty. Wedding vows are always just a formality, aren't they? I even promised to be loyal to my wife, but the truth is, I've been secretly saving up a little stash of money. Yesterday, when I got the 30 million, I was already secretly planning to divorce her and retire back to the countryside. After all, I've known Willow for only 3 years and 1 month. If it wasn't for the fact that I remind her of Makoto, I don't believe she would have fallen for a stranger like me. As if hearing my thoughts, Willow's eyes reddened, and her voice became rough as she spoke. "I can prove it to you." I didn't know how to respond. In the end, I reached out and gently patted her head. "You can't have your cake and eat it too." And I realized this when she asked me to sign a prenuptial agreement. Chapter 9. On the 3rd day after Makoto returned to the country, he took the initiative to ask me to meet. For the first time, I felt anxious about being unable to speak. I could only listen to his one-sided rant, unable to interject at all. The next second, he suddenly took out the order for the watch I bought and gave a mocking smirk, saying, "George, what you have is nothing but something I once didn't want, but I can take back whenever I want." He laughed. "Willow sees you as my substitute. She's always saying things in the heat of the moment. You must have noticed, right? To be honest, I'm the main character. I have the golden finger and a system. I will definitely win Willow over." Makoto wanted to see me ashamed, to see me angry, but I wrote and asked him, "Fine. How much budget does your system have to get rid of me?" Makoto froze. I expressionlessly handed him the QR code. I said, "The platform charges a handling fee, quite a bit. How about we do an offline transaction instead?" After typing, I took off my watch and showed him all the details: watch face, clasp, case, but I couldn't let go of the watch before the money came into my hands. Makoto looked completely confused. His fists were clenched, and he hesitated to speak. Finally, with a wave of his hand, he threw me a check and said grandly, "Name your price, fill in any number, and take the money. The farther you go, the better." My eyes lit up immediately. I carefully folded the check and put it away, gesturing to him in sign language. "Got it. I'll do it right now." Before I finished signing, I felt the chair beside me sink, and Willow appeared at the table. She looked visibly upset from head to toe, raised her hand, and grabbed my arm, coldly saying, "You really don't know when to leave. My husband can't talk. Stop bothering him." With that, Willow winked at me and gave me a look that said, "I know exactly what's going on." My heart skipped a beat. She continued, Do you know what my husband means? He means get lost. Do you understand? You're asking for trouble. Did Willow understand? She didn't understand a thing. She's going to twist it all the way to the Antarctic. The limit on this check is 10 million. Dude, can we communicate by text instead of using sign language? Chapter 10. After we got home, Willow grabbed my right hand and interrogated me. George, where's your watch? I was momentarily speechless. Just a second ago, Makoto had confirmed the receipt of the watch. I had directly shoved it into his pocket. Business people have to be honest, right? The woman huffed in dissatisfaction, and I immediately lowered my head, bracing for the scolding. However, the next second, my right hand suddenly felt heavy as Willow pulled another watch from her bag and placed it in my hand. I gasped. She said, the previous watch was only worth a bit over $1 million. It was a bit cheap. This one is worth over 40 million. If you lose it, no one would dare to pick it up. If you try to sell it, no one would dare to buy it. Here, husband, wear it and play with it. I was completely stunned. Willow gave me a sly and proud smile, rubbed against me, and then stood up to head back to the bedroom. For the first time, I really liked being a mute. I was so shocked that I didn't dare to speak. The show-off came out of nowhere. Maybe I should stay a few more days. Who knows? I might go from a millionaire to a billionaire. Chapter 11. Willow gave me a watch, hinting that I should also give her something. In the evening, I worked hard, burning the midnight oil. During the day, I thought carefully and solemnly placed a book on the nightstand to return her gift. The title was Zero Basics, Learn to Sign Language. She was so happy that she didn't go home for 3 days. The next time we met was at Willow's company, but I wasn't there to be her chauffeur picking her up after work. I was there as the investor from the client side. I split the money I held into 3 parts, with about 10 million invested in the project, which was flexible to use. I had my eye on a promising tech project. The assistant was originally supposed to take me to Willow's office, but halfway there, I walked into the meeting room with dozens of retail investors to hear the report. The assistant was stunned and speechless. Willow smiled, her eyes curving. My husband wants to build a career too. The office door was closed. Willow smiled lightly, saying, "Thank you, client, for the investment. I'll work hard to create value for you." I felt a bit guilty and quickly told her, I didn't know Luz Holdings was behind the subsidiary. This project has great prospects, and I trust its expected returns. I'm truly investing in it. She responded, I understand what you mean. Willow lifted her gaze to look at me. The soft light reflected in her eyes, and all the little fragments of my shadow were there. She said, just trust me. I'll handle the rest. Actually, you're great at investing. The psychiatric research project you invested in last time will probably win the Nobel Prize in the next few years. I was taken aback and asked how she knew about things years in advance. Willow lowered her gaze, a flash of sadness in her eyes, which quickly disappeared as she changed the topic. She said, by the way, did your mom have her regular checkup this year? You invested in a hospital project, so why not have your mom do an examination? There should be discounts. Have her go early this year. My mom is crazy about discounts. So the checkup was quickly scheduled. On that day, Willow and Makoto suddenly trended on social media. The media captured them in a hotel, their passion burning like dry tinder, coming together 3 days ago and leaving together 3 days later. When they left, Makoto was so weak, his legs too soft to walk. Chapter 12. My mom asked me what I was watching. I silently reported the marketing account and uninstalled the app. These marketing accounts that take secret photos really love to stir up trouble. Isn't this ruining family harmony? She already gives me 500,000 every month, and what's the big deal about Makoto and me burning with passion for 3 days? Should I make some goji berry soup for Makoto tonight to help him recover? My mom sat on a massage chair at the high-end checkup center, scolding me. Is this all my dear daughter is like? George, if you dare treat Willow badly in the future, I won't forgive you. I could only smile bitterly and shake my head. At first, my mom didn't agree with us getting married, but since she had a private talk with Willow, I don't know what they said, but after that, she treated Willow better than her own son. My thoughts wandered far away until the doctor called my mom's name to go for the checkup. Bang. As I stood up, a hurried nurse bumped into me, and the documents in her hand scattered all over the floor. She hurriedly apologized to me. I rubbed my shoulder and helped her pick up the papers. My eyes stopped when I saw one of the documents. Patient, Makoto. Content, forced electroshock therapy. Time, December 7th to December 10th. Damn, isn't this that guy? Wasn't the media reporting that he and Willow were burning with passion for 3 days? Could it be that his legs are weak because of forced electroshock therapy? Chapter 13. I swear this is a scene I'll never forget for the rest of my life. I followed an intern into the neighboring mental illness research building, spent a bit of money, and watched the surveillance footage from a VIP treatment room. For a full 3 days, Makoto underwent electroshock therapy here. Willow appeared frequently in the footage, holding a book with a cold, sinister gaze. Makoto screamed and broke down several times, but Willow only calmly asked him, "Are you clear-headed now?" Still listening to the system, her cold demeanor made even me, sitting in front of the screen, break into a cold sweat. I trembled and fast-forwarded the video, suddenly realizing that the high-end hotel where Willow was secretly filmed was near this psychiatric building. So those 3 days reported by the media, those were the days Willow and Makoto spent together. This is how they passed them. Willow snorted coldly, saying, "You made the mistake, so you deserve whatever punishment you get. Didn't the system tell you? You're so noisy. You're distracting me from reading. Do you know what this book is about? Sign language is the foundation of mimicking things. Ah, this is a book my husband gave me. Why should I read it to you?" The surveillance cut off at that moment. Willow's fingers gently traced the pages of the book, frozen in a look full of tenderness and love, and across from her, Makoto's face was contorted in agony, covered in excrement, his mouth open in a mad, howling scream. I suddenly slumped back in my chair, an inexplicable fear spreading from the depths of my heart. The system, Makoto. Could all of this just be Willow's excuse? Those she doesn't love end up like Makoto. So, will I be next? Chapter 14. My mind was in turmoil, probably from the exhaustion of the past few days. I slept all the way until evening after getting home, only to be woken by the sound of the door opening. Willow turned around to hang her bag, changed her shoes at the entryway, and sanitized her hands. She came into the bedroom to find me, and as usual, started with a hug, then nuzzled into my chest like a cat. After a while, she murmured, "Darling, I don't like the smell of disinfectant on you." My body stiffened. The fear that flashed in my eyes was quickly caught by Willow. She wrapped both arms around my neck, forcing me to meet her gaze. Willow is beautiful, with a graceful figure and fair skin. There's a faint tear mole beneath her left eye, and her entire face exudes a cold, distant aura. Only I know that when she's moved, that tear mole turns a deep red like blood, and her eyes fill with a love so intense it could suffocate, with a touch of sickly allure, obsessive and captivating. She's staring at me with that look right now. She said, "Darling, is it because of the trending news this morning? I've handled it all. Nothing happened between Makoto and me." "Wait, did you take your mom for a checkup today? The results weren't good." "It's fine. Early treatment always gives hope." "Or, did you discover that treatment room? The treatment room has surveillance." I flinched. My honest reaction gave Willow the answer. Her gaze darkened, and she lowered her lashes, whispering, "Don't be afraid of me. Makoto deserved it." I made gestures in sign language, trying to calm her down, but she stubbornly refused to let me go. As we struggled, she lowered her head and lightly bit my fingertip. She said, "Please, George, don't be afraid of me." Chapter 15. She was actually a bit aggrieved. "What does that look like?" "It's like a dangerous leopard." She could easily use her sharp teeth to tear through her prey's throat, but instead, she chooses to play the role of a little kitten, rolling over to show me her belly, biting my finger playfully, trying to prove she's harmless and pure. I can't quite describe the exact feeling. I made an excuse about a stomach ache and hid in the bathroom. While she waited for me outside, she wanted me to carry her down the stairs, feed her, keep my hand hidden under the table while she secretly played with my fingers, sticking to me as though she couldn't bear to be apart for even a second. She said, "George, don't leave me. Please, don't leave me again." Honestly, if she were more normal, I would want to stay, but it's this sickly, obsessive behavior that truly scares me, making me want to run away in the middle of the night. But I still typed to ask her, "Honestly, Makoto didn't even do anything. Isn't this going too far?" And now it's him. But will I be next? Willow, however, tightly clutched the corner of my shirt, biting her lip and said, "He owes a debt that not even several lifetimes could repay. Darling, I hope you never find out how much he and his system truly deserve to die." Chapter 16. I've never been curious about what kind of system this is. How could something like this exist in the real world? But they kept bringing it up, saying it so seriously every time, that I couldn't help but stay up at night, tossing and turning, unable to sleep for several nights. It's really hard to believe. Until one night, when I went out to throw the trash. I hadn't been sleeping well recently, so I was a bit dazed. As soon as I stepped outside, I accidentally knocked a woman to the ground. Wait, why was she standing in front of my door? I instinctively tried to apologize, but before I could type anything, the woman immediately started cursing at me. "I've been waiting here for days just to catch you. So you're the perverted scumbag who secretly filmed girls' skirts, huh?" I was completely confused. What was she talking about? She cursed again. "Stop acting. It's all been recorded, and you still want to deny it." She raised her phone, showing a video clip from December 7th trending online, where someone had exposed a man secretly filming on the subway. The man had even made lewd comments to the camera. Although the man's face looked like mine, Something about the scene felt off, like it wasn't real. About 5 seconds later, the trending video vanished without a trace. She cursed again. What's taking that disgusting man so long to die? More people need to see your true face. But someone leaked the news. So we've been staking out here, and we've still got the evidence. Chapter 17. The news was leaked early. Stakeout. What's going on? I quickly typed to explain to her. I'm mute. However, before I could react, the woman slapped me across the face, cursing. Just because you're mute, you think you can secretly film people? I've always had a short temper, and I couldn't tolerate this. Seeing her continue to curse at me, I swung my arm wide and slapped her back with all my strength. She was stunned, covering her face in disbelief, as if she thought I wouldn't retaliate or speak back, as if she believed I wouldn't fight back or reply with words. Even though I truly couldn't speak, I thought the slap would make her quiet down and give me a chance to explain. But to my surprise, the next second, the woman suddenly pulled scissors out of her bag and lunged at me. That was the last straw. I kicked her to the ground with all my might, disarmed her, and then slapped her twice in return. Ugh! She curled up on the ground, twitching. Meanwhile, I grabbed her phone and quickly scrolled through her chat history. I found several group chats named Awakening. After searching some keywords, I discovered that one of the accounts posting in those chats was linked to a company called Wisdom Heart World. One of the posts read, exposing a disgusting man who's been secretly filming girls' skirts on the subway for years. His home address is Wisdom Heart World. After searching online, I found out that Makoto is an investor in Wisdom Heart World. So, this was Willow's reason for seeking revenge on him. Chapter 18. About half an hour later, Willow appeared at the police station, looking flustered. When she heard that the woman had brought a weapon, her eyes instantly turned red. Darling, if anyone ever tries to hurt you again, you need to tell me. Don't try to handle it on your own. Promise me you'll let me know. Okay, I'll deal with that woman, and Wisdom Heart World, and Makoto. None of them will get away with it. As we sat in the car, Willow still held my hand tightly, her eyes full of suffocating tension, as if she were looking at someone else through my face. Another George. I didn't know how to ease her tension, so I could only reach out and touch her face. I gestured. I'm fine. I'm sorry about a few days ago. After seeing the electroshock video, I thought you might one day treat me like that. Turns out Makoto really deserved it. Willow pressed her face against my palm, rubbing it gently, and said, word by word, I'll never do that to you. You're not like him. You're not like anyone else. Understand? George. Chapter 19. I could clearly feel my heart racing, as if it was about to leap out of my chest. In a panic, I quickly averted my gaze and started signing to Willow, trying to change the subject. Makoto has a system. Do you have some superpower too? Is it telepathy? Or can you travel through time? Did you reincarnate? She didn't respond, instead telling the driver to head home. Willow fastened her seatbelt, then looked up with a calm expression. Sign language is so complicated. Darling, slow down. I don't understand. Oh, I got it. Are you asking me how I'm going to handle this? I'll sue him to the end. Hey, you're clearly pretending to be clueless. Don't misinterpret what I'm trying to say. I kept signing to her, trying to reason with her, gesturing non-stop along the way, but she was focused on touching up her makeup. She said, Darling, wait a minute, I'm finishing my makeup. In a moment of impulsiveness, while she was applying lipstick, I leaned in and kissed her passionately. I signed. Thanks for helping me with this. Don't care if you understand or not. The air grew still. Willow froze in place, and after a long pause, she softly whispered, her cheeks flushed. Kiss me again, and I think I'll understand. Chapter 20. In the second month after Makoto returned to the country, I, the mute substitute, successfully won the bid for a piece of land in the city center, and my investment income started to multiply. Makoto, on the other hand, was tortured to the point of mental instability. He even had several teeth knocked out, and he spoke with a noticeable whistle. He was facing a lawsuit for making fake videos of me and spreading rumors, and he was about to go to jail. Everything seemed different from what I had imagined. Someone said, you know, the more a woman loves someone, the more she's likely to get angry at him. Haven't you heard? Happiness is that every dynamite girl will meet a good-tempered gentleman who is willing to bow his head and pamper her. What I mean is, Willow only gets angry at me. We've been childhood sweethearts for 18 years. The more she tortures me, the more it shows how much she loves me. She's just angry that I left her, throwing a tantrum. I was speechless. At the restaurant I invested in, a customer had repeatedly complained about 10 dishes and demanded the boss apologize. When I rushed over, I saw that the person causing trouble was Makoto. I thought about refunding him to get rid of him, but he mocked me. Someone like you, a mute, can't even comfort anyone. What can you offer a woman in terms of emotional value? He laughed. You've got no money, no emotional value. What are you going to give Willow to make her happy? What you can't give her, I can give. Don't tell me you love her. I love her more than you do. You probably don't know this, right? My parents died abroad. I came back to see Willow and skipped their funeral. If she knew how devoted I am, she'd definitely cry from the emotion. He pulled out a check and arrogantly said, I'll say this, if you're smart, you'll take the money and get lost. Don't waste Willow's time. I was speechless. When Makoto spoke again, I slapped a plate right onto his face. I typed, maybe your system can do anything, but it looks like you're just chasing after a woman's skirt like a simp. So stop talking to me about Willow's love. As for you, if you can't conquer Willow, hurry up and switch to someone else. How repressed have you become? I can see you're not mentally stable. The sauce mixed with the vegetable leaves dripped down from Makoto's face. His fists clenched tightly and he trembled violently. His face turned a deep, angry purple. Suddenly, he slammed his chest and fell off his chair, gasping for air. His face twisted as if he was suffocating. What's going on? Don't die in my restaurant. That's bad luck. I immediately ordered the staff to call an ambulance. As we hurriedly lifted him into the ambulance, his phone, still recording the video, slipped out of his pocket. All the conversation was clearly recorded, and on the other end of the screen was Willow. Makoto suddenly grabbed his phone and screamed into it. Did you see that? Willow, George doesn't love you at all. I love you so much I'm about to die. Willow, I can't live without you. You said you'd marry me. Only a corner of Willow's face appeared on the screen, and after a long silence, a tear silently slid down her cheek. My heart inexplicably twinged in pain. Chapter 21. My career as a substitute might be coming to an end sooner than expected. I calculated the money I made over the years, and after paying her back the principal and interest, the remaining amount should be enough to buy a small apartment for my mom. But Willow didn't come home all night. Even if she did come back, it would be awkward between us when we met. The next morning, I planned to pack my things and stay with my mom for a few days. She lives alone, but when I walked into the restaurant, the table was already set with breakfast, and the fried eggs were still steaming. There was no housekeeper in the house, so had Willow come back? Did she cook and leave again? What is this all about? There was also a school anniversary invitation on the table. Just as I was about to pick it up and take a closer look, I suddenly heard footsteps behind me. It turned out Willow was home. Her long hair was disheveled, spilling over her shoulders. When our eyes met, the awkward tension flowed between us. I sat down at the table and started eating, forcing myself to continue, while she silently sat down too, coldly cutting her fried egg. Suddenly, she spoke. Did you look at the invitation? I immediately sat up straight, shaking my head, and pushed the invitation toward her, saying, it's your personal letter. I can't just snoop around. Willow tossed the knife onto the plate with a clatter, not even looking at me as she walked into the study. The entire day, neither of us said a word. She even cooked lunch and dinner but didn't speak a single word. She must be angry, right? Throwing a tantrum. I agonized over it until midnight. Standing outside Willow's guest room door, I placed a cup of milk on the table, nervously returning to my room to sleep. Not long after, in a half-dreaming, half-awake state, a soft body slipped into my arms. She whispered pitifully, hold me. You noticed I was angry, right? You comforted me, right? Then I forgive you. I couldn't help but laugh under the covers, pulling her tightly into my embrace. Willow looked up at me, and in her clear eyes, there was a deep, intense love. She said seriously, one word at a time. I want to make it clear to you. I tortured Makoto purely out of hatred. He's crazy to think it's love. My life after I turned 18 has nothing to do with him. Now, all the answers to my emotions are you. As she spoke, Willow lowered her eyes, then softly said, did you look at the school anniversary invitation? It says we need to bring family members, but I'm already married. How strange would it be to go alone? Chapter 22. On New Year's Eve, Willow and I attended the C University anniversary celebration. On the way, she had to meet with the principal, so she asked me to go ahead and wait for her in the laboratory building. I didn't have the grades to get into such a prestigious school, but somehow everything here felt familiar, as if in some parallel universe. I had once stayed up late in the lab, working tirelessly until dawn. The laboratory building was a bit old though. Does the college need an investment? Bang. A thick dictionary fell next to me, and a loud, arrogant voice came from behind. Well, if it isn't George, what a coincidence. Makoto slowly walked up to me. Despite being a man on the brink of collapse, he tried to appear calm and said, do you know where this place is? This is where Willow and I shared our first kiss. He laughed. She'll never tell you this. Women can never forget their first time, and I've already left a mark on her youth. This crazy guy gave me chills. I quickly turned to leave but found the door was locked. Makoto smiled as he fiddled with the equipment on the table. The old equipment quickly overloaded, releasing black smoke, and the wires short-circuited, with sparks scattering on the floor. His plan wasn't to electrocute me, was it? My body reacted faster than my brain. Without hesitation, I grabbed the dictionary and threw it at Makoto. He was completely unprepared and screamed as he fell to the ground. Holding the conductive pen, his body sprawled in the air. At that moment, the door opened. Makoto's face suddenly changed. The conductive pen he had aimed at me quickly turned around, and he shoved it into his own stomach. He immediately collapsed to his knees in front of me, wailing, "George, please spare me. I know I was wrong. I shouldn't have fought with you over Willow. I swear. We were just friends. I don't listen to the system anymore. Is it only when I die that you'll let me go?" Chapter 23. This crazy guy isn't done yet, is he? Am I an idiot? The room has surveillance. I angrily looked up to search for the camera, only to find that the surveillance camera had been smashed, with only the shell hanging from the wall. I froze for a second, but only for a second. Willow hugged my arm and lightly chuckled. "Looking for the camera? It's already been taken down. Part of the system's task. Well, it's better this way, right?" Makoto was shaking like a leaf, trembling. He looked at Willow and said, "It's my fault. I shouldn't have so many memories with you. I won't bother you again. I didn't expect George would want me dead. Please, George, spare me." Willow's gaze turned cold, and she quickly interrupted him. She said, "My husband might spare you, but I never said I would." She nudged the conductive pen with the tip of her shoe. Her eyes were dark and unfathomable as she spoke. 220 volts of electricity. If it doesn't kill you, then you must be one thick-skinned person. The last task the system gave you was to kill me or kill George. Did it tell you the third option? Maybe you die. Chapter 24. It seems I've been pulled into Willow's story of reincarnation and revenge. She must have suffered greatly because of Makoto in her past life, which is why she hates him so much. But what about me in my past life? What did I do to deserve being treated like this by her? Does she love me, or is she seeking redemption through me for some unknown person from her past life? My mom couldn't help but joke. "Do you and Willow still argue sometimes?" I couldn't explain something so complicated with sign language. After thinking it over, I simply asked her, "Do you think we love each other?" My mom looked at me like I had seen a ghost and said, "I've read plenty of romance novels when I've got time on my hands. Sometimes I really don't get it. Why don't the main characters ever explain their misunderstandings? It's like they can't talk." "Yes, I know you can't speak, but she practically sticks to you 24/7, and you can still type out explanations, right?" Seeing me silent, my mom clicked her tongue and pulled a document out of a small drawer. It was the agreement Willow had asked her to sign 3 years ago. My mom said, "You know, with such a big age gap between you two, I was actually against you being together at first. Who would have thought she'd show up with a prenuptial agreement saying that if you and Willow divorce, you'd get all her assets, no matter the reason for the divorce?" Sigh. How could I sign something like that? That silly girl even said it was because of something she owed you from her past life. Her brain doesn't seem all that sharp, so it really was because of this past life. I tried to make sense of it, but the next second, my mom nudged me and said, "Didn't I say, if you want to understand, go ask her. She's downstairs." So annoying. You two lovebirds, I'm old enough already. I don't need to watch you two show off your love. Oh, by the way, after the last checkup, my illness got treated. The doctor said if I had waited a few more months, it would have been a big problem. Thankfully, you took me to the checkup. Chapter 25. The health checkup was something Willow always reminded me about. She made sure to remind me seriously every year. I stepped out of the elevator and, just as expected, saw Willow sitting by the window. As I hesitated, wondering if I should walk over, she immediately spotted me, shook off the snow on her coat, and ran toward me. She clearly had a lot to say, but her steps paused at the last step. She hesitated, lowering her eyes, trying hard to contain the nervousness inside her. She softly spoke. "I'm sorry you had to see me like that again. Can I slowly explain it to you?" Makoto really dared to commit a crime. In my past life, I quickly interrupted Willow, saying, "I want to know about the past me. Did I love you so much that I was willing to die for you? So, did you come back to life to make up for me?" Willow's lips trembled involuntarily, unable to hide the panic in her heart. I thought she was going to pretend not to understand and take out her phone to type, but instead, she said, "I understand sign language, George. It's me who's been misunderstanding you all along. I've been afraid that you don't love me anymore." Her eyes reddened, and she spoke bitterly. "In my past life, you must have liked me for a long time, but I never responded to you. I only remember you being tortured by Makoto. After that, my feelings for you didn't grow, and in the same lab, he completed his final task and killed me. I was defenseless against him. I only remember when the fire broke out. A man smelling strongly of disinfectant pulled me out desperately, kneeling on the ground to bow to Makoto. She closed her eyes for a moment. Her peach blossom eyes seemed like they were about to bleed. Her voice slightly hoarse and trembling. She said, "That man was you. That day, You escaped from the mental hospital, so I'm afraid of the smell of disinfectant on you. Chapter 26. There was only one step between us, yet she didn't come any closer. Standing like a little cat that had been abandoned by its owner, she looked pitiful, standing outside the door, letting the snow fall onto her head, hanging from her long eyelashes, gently trembling. She took a breath, her face pale, and said, "Actually, I think this is inappropriate. You don't remember anything from your past life. Let's get a divorce." As she spoke, she took a step back, and I immediately stepped forward and pulled her into my arms. Willow froze for a moment. As she lifted her eyes, tears rolled from her eyes, and she looked at me, at a loss. I've always been spontaneous, doing whatever comes to mind immediately. So, I reached out and gently wiped the tears from the corner of her eye, then cupped her face and kissed her deeply. I signed. "I never said anything about a divorce, but you need to think carefully. I'm not the same as the person from your past life. At least, I don't love you that much yet. Please get to know me again and understand my feelings seriously. Then, let's have a proper relationship. I'm waiting for the cold wind, for the falling leaves, for the New Year's fireworks, and for the better version of us." Extra chapter, Willow. Chapter 1. When we were kids, Makoto and I were childhood sweethearts. He shared his snacks with me, gave me gifts, made me laugh, and even helped me carry many of my burdens. His kindness made me feel guilty at times, but he always told me, every girl deserves the best. Before I turned 18, I thought that was love, until he tricked me out of all my money and moved his family abroad. He said, "My dad's business is huge. I need to prepare to inherit the family business. You know your background doesn't match mine, right? Don't make it difficult for me." That night, I couldn't sleep after getting the news. I wasn't heartbroken, just angry, disgusted to the point of wanting to vomit. The next day, my mom gave me a little kitten, and as she chatted with me, she said, "Love is about respect and mutual admiration, not just about enjoying or giving. If you think love means someone treating you well unconditionally, then getting deceived is just a matter of time. Maybe you just haven't met someone who really makes your heart skip yet." Chapter 2. Makoto's parents had an accident abroad. Their business wasn't exactly clean. In our third year of college, he mysteriously came back to the country, so I checked into his background. We had nothing to say to each other, but he seemed to know everything in advance. He always appeared when I needed him most, always knowing exactly what I was thinking. Many crises were averted simply because he was there. He said he loved me, and that he was still my little rascal. The next day, he immediately destroyed the lab in a fit of rage, shouting about why his favorability towards me hadn't increased. Is he seriously mentally unstable? Chapter 3. Before I officially added George as a friend, I had no impression of him. Maybe we had missed countless chances. My experimental data had been influenced by Makoto, and before meeting my supervisor, a shy guy handed me a neat report, probably data he had simulated overnight. He smiled and said, "I had some free time last night and decided to practice. Do you think your team can use this data? Take it. No need to thank me." His voice was crisp and bright, very infectious. I could tell he was just offering help in a time of need, so I added him as a friend, intending to thank him another day. But just a few days later, he made the headlines, accused of secretly filming girls on the subway. Makoto laughed and shared the gossip with me. He said, "Hey, isn't this George from your department? I had no idea he was that kind of person. He's just scum. Really? I'm going to post anonymously on the wall to warn the younger girls to stay away from him." Chapter 4. Before I had a chance to investigate, George dropped out due to mental health issues. I heard he was forcibly committed to a psychiatric hospital, something that was completely beyond my control. Indeed, we were just classmates, and there wasn't much to say other than feeling sorry for him. I donated 500,000 yuan to the funds for his medical treatment and passed it on to his mother. A few months later, I heard that his mother had been in a car accident and was diagnosed with a terminal illness. The fate of this mother and son was truly tragic. In comparison, Makoto's mood improved a lot. Unfortunately, my favorability towards him still hadn't increased. Chapter 5. It wasn't until the moment the fire broke out that I realized Makoto had bound himself to a system, intending to target me. He had dealt with the rival, George, and completed all the tasks, but my favorability towards him didn't even increase by 0.1. He had to eliminate me and move on to a new target. What I didn't expect was that the only person who came to save me was George. He broke the glass and jumped in, his voice completely rendered mute by the poison. He slowly dragged me outside. It was heavy, wasn't it? But I was already hit in the major artery by that lunatic, and I probably had no chance of surviving. When I saw George kneel before Makoto, my tears finally burst out, and in my anger, I lost consciousness. What couldn't NPC-like puppets do to resist the system? Was it wrong that I didn't love Makoto? If I could be reborn, I wouldn't lose to him. If I could be reborn, I would want to get to know George again and help him live a good life. Chapter 6. I was reborn in the year I graduated from university, and Makoto was still abroad, out of touch. George didn't attend university either, and we had no contact. Luckily, this time, he didn't love me. His only focus was making money. He couldn't speak, so I became the only person in the world who had ever heard his voice. Only I have heard it. He belongs to me now. Extra chapter, George. On our 4th wedding anniversary, I had prepared a little surprise for Willow. Flowers, a party, and her favorite Pacific island. Over the years, I had made a good profit from several of my investments, so buying a small island was a breeze. However, amidst the applause of everyone, she rushed into the house to change clothes and put on jewelry. As she passed me, she quickly grabbed a bite of cake and said, thank you, I love you too, darling, but I really have to get to that contract. I'm running out of time. Please hurry and take me to the airport. Oh, and here, this is for you. She casually handed me a piece of paper, then continued to collect her gifts while asking me to help her zip up her dress. The surprise I had planned for half a month was over in half a minute, but the smile on my face was harder to suppress than the shake of a machine gun. What should I do now? My mom hurried out the door to give us an umbrella and quietly nudged me. I immediately frowned and signed. Mom, Willow is really busy. You can't keep criticizing her. But my mom sighed and said, I'm telling you to stop smiling so foolishly. Take a good look at this. I looked down at the paper she handed me, and after a quick glance, I froze in place. What? A pregnancy checkup report? Wait, did she just casually give this to me? My mom said, hurry up and cancel your work. Go with her. Did you know your wife is pregnant? You need to take care of your own wife. So, I quickly opened the umbrella, ran through the heavy rain, and caught up with Willow, holding her hand tightly.